People look at me differently when they find out I eat a carnivore diet. They pause, they blink, they tilt their head like I told them I'm training for a marathon on Mars. Then come the questions. Dr. Hampton, where do you get your vitamins? What about fiber? What about vitamin C? Aren't you worried about scurvy? And then my favorite one. Wait, how are you still alive? Apparently, some people think I've been walking around powered by steak, salt, and blind optimism. But here's the twist. Those questions are not crazy. They are actually the right questions. Because when someone asks, can you really get everything you need from meat? They are not just asking about steak. They are asking about human biology. They are asking what nutrients are truly essential. They are asking whether the body needs carbohydrates, or whether the body simply needs glucose. And the answer is more nuanced than both sides pretend. So today, I want to give you a playbook. Not so you can win arguments, but so you can answer with confidence, humility, and science. Can humans get what they need from meat? Let's talk about it. First, we have to define essential. In nutrition, essential means your body cannot make it, so you must get it from food. There are essential amino acids. There are essential fatty acids. There are essential vitamins and minerals, but there are no essential carbohydrate. That statement makes people nervous, but it is not internet nutrition talk. The Institute of Medicine stated, the lower limit of dietary carbohydrate compatible with life is apparently 0, provided adequate protein and fat are consumed. Now, be careful. That does not mean 0 carbohydrate is ideal for every person. It simply means the human body does not have a biochemical requirement for dietary carbohydrate. Why? Because the liver can make glucose through gluconeogenesis. Your body can make glucose from amino acids, glycerol from fat, and lactate. So when someone says your body needs carbs, the more accurate answer is your body needs some glucose, but it does not necessarily need you to eat glucose. That is a huge difference. Now, does meat actually contain important nutrients? Absolutely. Animal foods contain complete protein, meaning all the essential amino acids in proportions humans can use. They contain vitamin B12, heme iron, zinc, selenium, phosphorus, choline, creatine, carnitine, taurine, retinol, vitamin D, vitamin K2, DHA, and EPA. This is where bioavailability becomes the grown-up conversation. Nutrition is not just what is on the label. Nutrition is what gets absorbed, converted, transported, and used. Spinach contains iron, but steak contains heme iron. Carrots contain beta-carotene. Liver contains retinol, the active form of vitamin A. Those are not the same conversations. Plant foods can be nutritious, but some nutrients in animal foods can come in forms the body can use and absorb more efficiently. A 2024 review on animal source foods emphasized that animal foods provide high-quality protein and several micronutrients that are often harder to obtain or absorb from plant-only diets, including B12, iron, zinc, selenium, and phosphorus. That does not make plants bad. It means animal foods are nutritionally powerful. Now, let's talk about vitamin C, because someone is always ready to yell scurvy, like they just won a game show. And yes, vitamin C matters. Severe vitamin C deficiency is real. Muscle meat is not a rich source of vitamin C. And if someone eats only overcooked lean muscle meat with no seafood, no organs, no eggs, and no monitoring, I would not call that well formulated. That is nutritional laziness. Traditional high meat populations did not simply eat ribeye and scroll Instagram. The Inuit ate marine mammals, fish, fat, organs, and often raw or lightly prepared animal foods. Raw liver, fish eggs, and certain marine tissues can contain vitamin C. The Maasai consumed milk, blood, and meat, but they were not a perfect modern carnivore model either. Their lifestyle was different from ours. So history does not prove everyone should eat carnivore, but history does challenge the claim that humans cannot survive on heavily animal-based diets. And this is where adaptation enters the room. When carbohydrates drop very low, insulin drops, the body increases fat burning, the liver produces ketones, George Cahill's fasting studies and the classic work by Owen and colleagues in 1967 showed how the human brain can shift fuel use during prolonged fasting, relying much more on ketones while glucose needs fall. That matters because fasting is, metabolically speaking, an internal version of carbohydrate restriction. Yet the body adapts. It uses fat. It makes glucose. It preserves protein. Human metabolism is not fragile. It is flexible. The question is not whether meat is magical. It is not. The question is whether the human body has systems that allow it to function with very little carbohydrate. And the answer is yes. Now, let's be honest, because this is where some carnivore advocates oversell the case. A strict carnivore diet can be low in certain nutrients depending on how it is built. A recent nutrient analysis of carnivore-style meal plans found that many nutrients exceeded recommendations, including B12, selenium, zinc, phosphorus, riboflavin, niacin, B6, and vitamin A. But several nutrients tended to fall short, including thiamine, magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, iodine, and folate, depending on food choices. That is not a reason to panic. It is a reason to plan. If you include seafood, eggs, dairy if tolerated, organ meats if appropriate, mineral-rich salt, bone-in fish, and track labs when needed, the picture changes. But if your entire diet is 3 pounds of lean chicken breast and vibes, we have a problem. Also, long-term carnivore research is still limited. Virta Health's work on carbohydrate restriction and type 2 diabetes showed impressive improvements in weight, glycemic control, triglycerides, HDL, and medication reduction. But that is not the same as saying we have 30-year randomized carnivore trials. We do not. Animal-based diets can be incredibly nutrient-dense. Carbohydrates are not essential. Many people report major improvements in weight, blood sugar, cravings, joints, skin, and digestion. But individual response matters. Some people see LDL cholesterol rise significantly. Some people need more electrolytes, magnesium, and iodine. Some may do better with low carb that includes plants. And as a physician, I do not treat diets like religion. I treat them like tools. The right tool depends on the patient, the condition, the labs, the symptoms, and the goal. So here is your playbook. When someone asks in the elevator, can you really get everything you need from meat? You can say, animal foods contain complete protein, essential fats, and many highly absorbable nutrients. Carbohydrates are not essential because the body can make glucose, but the diet has to be well formulated. That is it. No argument, no steak sermon. At the dinner table, you can add. The real issue is not meat versus plants. The real issue is essential nutrients, bioavailability, and individual tolerance. Some people do very well on carnivore, especially metabolically sick people. Others may do better with a less restrictive low-carb diet. And if you are at a conference, you can say, humans require essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals, but not dietary carbohydrate. Animal foods provide many of these nutrients in highly bioavailable forms. Ketosis and gluconeogenesis allow glucose homeostasis in very low carbohydrate states. However, long-term strict carnivore data remain limited, and individualized monitoring matters. That is the balanced answer. Now let's hit the myths quickly. People say things like, you need carbs to survive. No, you need glucose and your body can make glucose. Next, you need plants for B12. No, B12 is found naturally in animal foods. They may say, all iron is the same. No, heme iron from animal foods is generally more bioavailable than non-heme iron from plants. Here we go with this comment. Carnivore means nutrient deficiency. Not automatically. Poorly planned carnivore can create problems. But poorly planned vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, and standard American diets can also create problems. The body does not grade your diet based on hashtags. It grades it based on nutrients, hormones, inflammation, energy, and outcomes. So where does this leave us? It leaves us in a place of nuance. Meat is not magic, plants are not poison. But animal foods are far more nutrient dense and biologically useful than many people were taught. For decades, patients were told to fear meat while eating cereal with a heart-healthy stamp on the box. That is like warning people about the fireplace while the kitchen is burning down. The modern metabolic crisis did not happen because people ate too much ribeye. It happened in an environment of ultra-processed food, refined starch, sugar, seed oils, poor sleep, chronic stress, low muscle mass, and constant snacking. So when someone says, "How can you eat only meat?" the answer is simple. I am not asking anyone to eat like me. I am asking everyone to rethink what they were told. Because the deeper question is not, can meat provide nutrients? It clearly can. The deeper question is, what does your body actually need to heal? For some people, carnivore is a reset. For some, it's a therapeutic tool. For some, it is too restrictive. And for others, it is the first time in years their hunger, blood sugar, joints, skin, and digestion finally quieted down. That deserves curiosity, not mockery. So the next time someone asks, "Can you really get everything you need from meat?" you can smile and say, "More than most people think." Then add, "But the real question is not ideology, it is physiology." And physiology is where the body keeps the receipts. I'll see you in the next video.